Welcome to Pet Partners. It's so nice to have you back with us for one of these summer edition shows. And since it's such a busy time of year, you can bet that it's also very busy at the Rutland County Humane Society. And here to talk with us about everything that's going on right now is Amelia Gardner. Hi, Amelia.
Hello. Thanks so much for having us.
So glad to have you with us. You've been with the organization for quite a long time, but we've never been able to welcome you to Pet Partners. So
yeah, I'm so happy to finally be here.
it's nice to have you here with us. And you have a very charming and lovely guest with you today.
I do. So this is little Miss Iris. She is a 5-month-old pointer mix puppy. And she actually came in with her sibling Junior, and they're kind of your typical puppies. They're happy-go-lucky, like puppy mannerisms, and she's a little more reserved than her sibling, but she's doing great here. I mean, she warmed right up to you guys here. She just needs someone who can give her the structure and work on your puppy potty training and things like that. But she's very sweet, loves dogs, loves people, and she's a fun one to have around for sure.
She's pretty well behaved for a puppy, I would say. Coming into a place like this for the first time, bright lights, lots of new people, new smells, and she just took it all in stride.
Yep, food motivated definitely helps.
Oh, that always helps, doesn't it? When they don't want the food, then you go, uh-oh.
Right. Exactly.
How am I going to do this?
Which means she'll be very easy to train, which is awesome.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing more of her under what I have to say, beautiful new lights here at PEGTV. We are the second show to use these new lights. So we're excited to show them off, and it's really going to set off, I think you mentioned it earlier, Iris's lovely coloring. So
very flattering.
It's very flattering for her, for sure. So we're excited for PEGTV for the big upgrade, and as always, we'd like to thank Chelsea and Jim and Rich for helping us put this show on today, and also my husband Andrew, who came and did the filming earlier. He's the scary guy with the camera, scares all the dogs.
Nah, it's all fun.
It's all good, good. All right, so maybe you'd like to start off by showing us who we can look forward to for adoption this month.
Absolutely. We've got pretty full kennel and cat rooms at the shelter. We're going to start off with our little Tippy. Tippy is about 2 years old. He's a terrier mix. Just kind of your outdoor adventurous dog, loves hikes, is just ready to be, if you want to put your hiking shoes on, this is your dog to bring. He doesn't really love other dogs or cats. He would be fine with dog savvy kids as long as they could kind of understand that he's got a lot of energy. But he's really a fun dog, so if you're looking for that motivation to get out on the trails this summer, this is definitely your dog.
Oh, it's always good to have a motivation,
Absolutely.
Isn't it? To have a buddy who wants to go with you.
Oh, for sure.
And they're excited about it.
And as you can tell, he's full of energy, ready to go.
Very cute.
And our next pup is actually a very sweet, very kind of special girl, Marlene. She is 4 years old, and she is a collie mix, but she actually is deaf. So you may not notice it right away when you meet her, but sometimes, as you could tell, she kind of feels the room out a little bit when she meets new people. But once she gets to know you, she's super, super sweet. She's kind of the best of both worlds. She can be, chase the tennis ball, goes out and hikes with you, but then also will just curl up on the couch with you. She, just needs a fenced-in yard, but she's good with dogs, cats, kids. She's the best of both worlds, I think, for really just about any family.
Oh, she seems really sweet, and I don't know, there's got to be something very rewarding about bringing in a special needs dog, and I mean, it really doesn't seem like she has a lot that you would have to
No, she just takes a
of?
little more, just getting the routine. Sometimes you can see her, like she'll tilt her head a little bit, when she's watching you, kind of looking at your body language, but other than that, she's adapted very well to being deaf, for sure.
Wonderful. She's so cute.
And then next we have China. China is a 2-year-old kind of pitty mix, very sassy, energetic, definitely another one that will get you out walking. And would definitely do best as the only dog in the house. We don't have any history with cats or kids, but definitely a dog-savvy cat or a dog-savvy kids that can kind of give China the space they need to really warm up. As you can tell, a little bit nervous of new people, likes to be outside for sure when meeting new people, because I think China gets a little bit nervous when they're in like a smaller room. But once you get outside, that kind of seems to be your happy place for sure.
Right, and as mentioned before, Andrew does have a fairly large camera and lens there that he's also pointing at her, which can maybe make her a little more defensive than she would be.
It definitely can, but it seems like when you get them outside, it seems like a lot of that stress comes off for sure.
That's good.
And then next we have Zara. Zara is another 2-year-old. We have a lot of young dogs in the shelter right now. Zara is a Pitty Rottie mix, sweet, sassy, loves attention, will just soak up all the attention you'll give her. Good with kids, does take a little time with certain dogs, so we kind of consider that dog selective. So if you do have a dog, definitely will be important for them to meet before, you finalize any adoptions or anything. But is really just a happy-go-lucky pup. Loves outside, loves toys, kind of just wants to be around people. And once she knows you, she really is very kind of your shadow, for sure.
Cute.
And then after Zara, we have actually Junior and Iris. So as you see, they are together. So they do look very similar. Junior has a little bit more brindle and a little less white than Iris does, but they are actually siblings. They're 5-month-old pointer mixes. And as you can tell, they absolutely love each other. They love other dogs, people. They just are your typical happy-go-lucky puppies. Iris, of the two, definitely is a little more reserved, but Junior seems to have a little more outgoing personality. But again, they're at that perfect age where, getting them out, socializing them is just a really good time to bring them into your family.
I see what you did here. You tuckered them out before you brought her to the studio, so now she's
Give
ready
away all her secrets.
afternoon nap. Yes,
Yep.
it's a good idea.
And then next
Adorable.
we have kind of the opposites of the little pups. We have Tank, and you'll notice he really does kind of live up to his name. He is 5-year-old Pitty. He lives up to his name, so he knows his basic commands, but he's just kind of a goofball. He sticks to his toys, he follows you around, he likes to play, but he really goes off his looks. I wouldn't say he's the smartest pup, but sometimes sometimes those are the best ones. They're just happy to kind of be around you, and he's pretty outgoing and just kind of happy to be around people.
Who needs to have a dog around who's going to outsmart you, right?
Exactly,
We kind of have our
right?
kids for that.
Exactly. And he's happy to be there. And then after that, we actually have Hulk, who is actually very similar, I would say, to Tank. He's a little more nervous than Tank is, but he's also just kind of a gentle giant, kind of a goofball. He's about 3 years old, Pitty mix. Once he gets to know you, though, again, he's very sweet. He kind of hones in on you and is really going to be like your best friend shadow. So he just needs a little bit of patience. But as you can see, he's kind of shaking it off. He really does love his people, and he's treats, food, anything. He's very easily bribed
Oh,
to
that's
love.
good.
So
Yeah, he
it's-
seems like a real love bug.
Oh yeah, and he's just so sweet. So those are really the pups that we have right now. So we'd be moving on to our cats, which we have quite a few of. And we're going to start off with Sophie. So she is very, very sweet. She is just about 5.5 years old, and she's a spay female. She's a little bit shy at first, but really doesn't take much time, and then she's, on your lap. She loves cardboard boxes, so sometimes she'll hide in them, sometimes she just kind of hangs out in them and naps in them during the afternoon. We don't have any history with her with dogs or kids, but she's pretty mellow, so a dog savvy or cat savvy kid or dog would be good for her. But an important thing to know is that she is actually toothless, so she will require special, just wet food, and she does need to be indoor only because she doesn't have any teeth, to protect herself from anything. But you wouldn't notice it. She's a very, very sweet girl.
So really, other than a dietary adjustment,
Yeah,
doesn't
she's
just soft food.
Yeah, and they love it, so it's not hard
Yes.
to.
It's not hard to get them to eat that.
Exactly. And next we have Jakey. Jakey is a neutered male.
Aww.
He's about 3 years old, and he is also on a special diet of wet food, but it's not because he's toothless, just for medical, to keep his weight and everything under control. But other than that, he's a healthy boy. He acts normal. He's very sweet. We don't have any history with him with dogs or kids, but as you can tell, he seems to be doing really well with cats. He's not really playful, but as long as you have a cat at home that's not, over enthusiastic and, pushy, he should be totally fine with them.
I love his facial markings.
He's a pretty boy. And then next we have Ghost. We have a lot of kind of special cases at the shelter right now, and Ghost is definitely one of them. He is actually his third time back at the shelter. He is deaf, kind of like Marlene, and again, you wouldn't notice it if you were to play with him. He's very playful, enthusiastic, loves other animals. He can be a little bit much for some cats or dogs because because he can't necessarily read or hear any kind of communication. So sometimes when other animals are done playing, he doesn't really know that that's the case.
Isn't getting all the social cues.
Exactly, but he's so charming. He's an absolute love bug. He's only 3 years old. He's a neutered male, and he really is such a sweet boy. We're just kind of really rooting for him to find that perfect home because he totally deserves it, and he really is so entertaining.
Oh,
And he's
so
great with
handsome.
everybody. He is a handsome boy.
You don't often see just an all-white
No.
cat like that. Love the name Ghost.
Yeah,
and he's ready for his own
is.
special home.
he's definitely due for it. And next we have Bean. So Bean is actually from the south. He came as a transport. He's about 2.5 years old. He is a neutered male, and he's a pretty chill cat. He really spends most of his day just kind of watching out the window, just laying there. He loves people, but he's not a fan of other cats. And really not a fan of other dogs, so he really would prefer to be the only one in the household. He's just kind of set in his ways, but other than that, he loves people, will just kind of climb up on your lap, and he just really wants to keep the love to himself, honestly.
Well, that's his prerogative. And
Absolutely.
look at his face.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
so cute.
He's got those little dots on his nose.
I know. He said, look at me, aren't I enough?
Yeah, exactly,
You
right?
don't need anybody else.
You can't argue with that. He makes up for it because he's so charming and he's very, very affectionate. So you won't be short on pets for sure.
No.
And next we have Forrest. Forrest is a 6-year-old neutered male. He is another very affectionate cat, but he's very social. So he is good with dogs, cats. He's good with older, cat savvy kids that can respect his boundaries, but he wants to be your shadow, and he just will follow you around, stay on your lap. If you're doing something, he is absolutely going to be involved, whether that's helpful or not. He's going to be right there with you the whole time.
Another really adorable face there.
A lot of pretty nose markings. And next we have Ebony. Ebony is a 1.5-year-old spayed female. She's a little bit more reserved. As you can tell, she's kind of uses the boxes to kind of keep her comfortable. But once she gets a little bit of time, she kind of, all of a sudden, you'll notice how comfortable she is because she'll just jump on your lap and, she doesn't love being picked up, but she, on her own terms, will come to you once she's comfortable, which is pretty quick. She'll warm up to you. We don't have any history with her or with any dogs or cats, but she definitely would need to be in a family that can respect her space and kind of give her that time to warm up and settle into the new environment. But as you can tell, she is very outgoing and definitely wants to soak up the attention.
Aw.
And next we have Phantom. Phantom is about 1 year old. He's a neutered male.
Phantom was getting photobombed
Oh
there.
yeah, someone's trying to steal the spotlight from him.
It
But,
always happens every show.
but he's a total love bug. As you can tell, he's pretty easygoing. He's friendly with people. He's friendly with cats, even cats that are trying to steal all the attention. He does love attention too. So as long as he gets his fair share of affection, he's good with other cats. And, we don't have any history with dogs, but as long as the dog is respectful, we don't think he would have any issues living in a home with a dog. And he's very playful. So if you're looking for a cat that's going to chase those toys around the house or play in boxes and kind of be a little playful buddy, then he's definitely a good option for that, for sure. And then next we have Tito. Tito is about 4 years old. He is a neutered male. For some reason, we have a lot of cats that love boxes because he is also another box lover. Most of the time when we go in to check on him, he's usually hiding out, curled up in one of our cardboard boxes. So he's a pretty chill cat too. He does need a little time to warm up. He is a little more reserved when you first meet him, but as you can tell, he definitely wants the attention. So I think just kind of a quiet home with really no other dogs would be best. He just doesn't seem to really enjoy their company, but he does like cats, again, as long as they're, reasonably not super pushy with him. He seems to do fine with them. And as long as he gets some, attention as well. He doesn't seem to have any issues with cats. He's really pretty chill guy.
Look at his markings too, that nose and the socks.
And gray cats are so pretty.
I know.
I think.
It really sets them off with the white there and the dark gray. Pretty.
And then we have Eli. So we're finishing off with a couple older cats. Eli is a senior. He's at 14 years old, which you wouldn't notice looking at him. He's he's very calm and sweet, but he's definitely doesn't look like he's 14 years old. He's just such a sweet boy. He will soak up as much love as you will get him. And as you can tell, he's absolutely stunning with his beautiful longer coat. And he's 14, so he's definitely more laid back than some of the other cats, but he's so sweet, and he's good with cats. He'd probably be fine with dogs, as long as they're not too pushy with him. And he'd probably be fine with kids as long as, they're patient with him and understand that he's 14 years old. And he may not be as playful as kittens, but just wants to curl up on your lap and kind of enjoy the rest of his golden years with on someone's couch, for sure.
Aw, he looks like a really sweet boy. Pretty.
And then last we have another senior, Cleo, who is also 14. She is a spayed female, and again, she's pretty laid back, very sweet. Doesn't really like other cats, so definitely a cat-free home would be, but at 14 years old, that's fair.
That is.
She's good with dogs as long as they're pretty patient and not pushy with her, and as long as you have dog-savvy kids that can, are older and respect her space, she's fine. She's not too comfortable with younger kids that are kind of running around, so she definitely would do best in a home that is pretty quiet and calm, where she can kind of slowly come out of her shell, because she does take a little bit of time, and she's really just looking for that stable household that, again, she can curl up and enjoy the rest of her golden years on, because she deserves it. She's had who knows what her history was, but she was definitely loved, but she's definitely ready to find that last little couch to curl up on and enjoy the afternoons.
It's funny, my mom has grandchildren visiting right now from out of state, and her cats are not accustomed, because my kids are older now, and she's not accustomed to the little ones, so they are just in perpetual hiding.
Oh, yeah.
But when we go over there and they hear our voices, they're like, okay, those people and those kids we know, the kids are a little older, so they all come popping out from under the sofa or wherever they're hiding. And but then as soon as the little ones come around again, they're right back into hiding. And it can be a lot.
It can be, absolutely.
A lot of energy.
And, they don't, especially when they don't know those voices necessarily.
Yes.
It's definitely good. It's good to teach kids respect around animals in general, because, they don't communicate the same way people do. So some of those cues kids don't always pick up on. So it's always good to.
So important to help them figure that out, or, they end up getting with a scratch or.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the harder way to learn. But
I know.
Animals are pretty good at, keeping, especially cats are very good at their tune in on voices, like you were saying, and they know, okay, this is my time, I'm going to go hang out upstairs.
Absolutely. So they're smart like that. So those are all the cats.
Those are all the cats. We, a lot of kittens in foster right now, but, our adult cats, we've got quite a few of them, but they're all getting adopted pretty quickly.
A lovely assortment this time,
Yeah.
as usual. And so if folks are looking for kittens, they should know that you have probably plenty in foster care, right?
Absolutely.
So please always call,
Absolutely.
stop in, whatever, and likely you will have whatever people are looking for.
Yeah, I mean, we're in kind of the beginning of, what we call, people call kitten season, but we like to call it tiny paws season because, we do tend to see a lot more kittens. We do see a lot of puppies as well, but, they do tend to go, we have a lot of kittens in foster, so they're in foster to get socialization, but also because, a lot of them we get them when they're either not born yet or just born, so they need to be old enough to get all their vaccines and to get spayed and neutered. So they spend a long time in foster, which is great for them because they get to, be with their litter mates and get that socialization at such a young age.
You get accustomed to a home environment and all the
Absolutely. Litter
sights
box
and smells and
trained.
things that happen.
And it really sets them up for success. And, sometimes when they come in with mom, it gives mom, she can do her motherly duties. And then when she's able to be, separated from her kittens, she can kind of start the next chapter of her life and, find a home of her own and kind of leave
Yeah.
that behind her, which is
That all works out. So if folks want to help out with Tiny Paws season, because sometimes people are like, oh, I really want to help with that, but I just can't bring a puppy or a kitten into my home right now. What kinds of things could they do to help out?
Absolutely. You could volunteer. We're always looking for fosters, whether it's puppy fosters, kitten fosters, cat fosters. We're always looking, and you can always just give us a call. We're looking for, donations. We have our wish list on our website, and I know you have it here. Of course, monetary donations are always helpful for us because, we love kittens and we love puppies, but they're very expensive.
Yes.
Especially because they tend to be with us for a while, and they don't usually have any vaccines. They need to get spayed and neutered. So, and they spend a lot of time with us because we want to make sure they're healthy before they get adopted out. So,
Right, set them up for success.
exactly. And so, they have to spend that time, usually in foster, which is, again, a great opportunity to kind of get involved without having to commit to bringing in permanently bringing them into your home. And sometimes people adopt them after, they call themselves foster failures, but I think it's a success for everybody. And
For sure.
it's a good way to kind of try it out and see if it's a good fit for you.
Right, so you can always use some supplies related to those little ones, and that can be found on your website. Donations for sure, always appreciated, and or fostering, which is maybe or maybe not a long-term commitment,
Exactly.
depending on your level of failure.
Exactly.
Right. And also, now might be a good time to put up the wish list, the sort of general wish list for the Humane Society. If folks want to get out and you're doing a little shopping or placing an online order of some sort, you get a little extra and drop it off at Stevens Road. And they could sure use some wet puppy food, some dog pill pockets for taking that medication a little easier, right? Benabones and Nylabones helps with their teeth and with chewing, and some soft, chewy dog treats. And there's a longer list, as always, on the shelter's website, because, you always need cleaning supplies as
Wet
well.
food,
Yes.
dog, cat treats, toys, things like that.
Even things like batteries and stamps,
Photo paper,
exactly,
printer
the
paper.
office type supplies. So
Yeah.
really whatever people could contribute, I'm sure they could find something to go shopping for
absolutely.
on that list, right?
Oh, yeah.
We have a little bit of extra time. Are there any other things that are going on that you'd like to tell us about going on at the Humane Society?
There's always stuff going on there.
It's a busy place.
It is a very busy place. We're hiring for 2 different positions.
Good to know.
So you can also find that on our website as well. We're hiring a development director and then an adoption volunteer coordinator. So both really important jobs for, to kind of continue our success. And
Yes.
so that can all be found on our website there. And we've got a lot of changes going on, but we've It's a busy time of year for us, again, with tiny paw season coming in. We have a lot of animals coming in. So, even if you can't adopt right now, if you're, able to maybe even foster, we're really looking for fosters. And that's not just the little ones, but, we have a lot of adult dogs and sometimes some adult cats that really need to, maybe they're waiting for a surgery and we don't want them just sitting in the shelter for a long time. For dogs, sometimes it's, similar reason, or maybe it's socialization. We want to get them into a home environment because maybe we just don't have a history for them. And it's a great opportunity to, kind of test things out. And, maybe you're considering adding a four-legged friend to your family, or maybe you just want to, it's summer break and your kids are home and you have a little extra time and, your kids want a running buddy, come
Right.
volunteer, come walk dogs. We're always looking for people to kind of come in and get these animals out of the shelter it's just better for them to get out of the
My
shelter.
son
and
did that for
decompress.
years when he was in high school,
Yeah.
and he really loved it.
It's-
Came every week.
It's a
and-
win-win. It
Yeah.
really is. And we have a couple volunteers that take them out on, on hikes. They take them around town, and it's such great exposure, and you learn so much about them.
I love seeing the posts where people will take photos of their little out and about
Yep.
adventures with a dog and post it and say what they did on their day. And I think that helps people to understand the personality of the
Absolutely.
pet too, or just their likes and dislikes, or how well they do riding in a car, all those kinds of things.
Right, because
So-
those are all things, in the shelter, we're not necessarily, we can't test those. And,
Absolutely.
but I will say the one requirement if you take a dog off-site is they do require a pup cup after their walk. So they
Yes.
do require that, so.
Pup cups are very important, especially
Yes.
this time of year.
Absolutely. It's a little treat, and it's fun to watch them as they go out. Sometimes volunteers will take them out more than one time, and it's interesting to see how each time they take them out, they get a little more comfortable, and you see a little bit more of them. They're a little more relaxed in the car ride, and they're, a little less worried when you take them out in the woods for a walk. They don't really know what's going on, so it's such a good experience for everybody.
Absolutely. Don't make the mistake that I did, which is, oh, we live in the country and there's plenty of space for them, and so we don't take them off campus, if
Right.
you will, that often. So when we do, it's often for, say, a vet appointment. And so now my dogs, hit the decks and,
Right.
and they hide and they quiver. And I'm thinking, I need to get them out for something a little more positive
Right.
once in a while, and not just shots,
Exactly.
right?
Good to mix it up.
We need to mix it up for sure. Can we just talk for a moment about how good
I
Iris
know.
has been? This is a
5
puppy,
months
folks.
old puppy who's
5 months
pretty
old.
timid, not super socialized, and she's doing so well. And
I
we-
kind of forgot she was here a couple of times because she just really has been a dreamboat.
She's been lovely. You've been a very good girl, and she's, like I said, treats. Taking her out with treats. She's if she knows you have food, she's all about it. She will. As you can see, even just saying it, she's perking up with it. And, she's learning different commands. She's slowly learning sit, which we were practicing earlier. It's a hit or miss, but she's slowly learning.
She is such a good girl. And I'm sure her little buddy Junior is a good boy as well.
They're
so.
both very sweet pups, and definitely looking for that active family to kind of continue their obedience and structure, and but they're going to make a really nice companion for somebody. They're really sweet pups.
Well, it is that time of year where, school is out and maybe a little more time at home for folks. So
Yeah.
it's a good time
Longer
to think about
days.
adoption. Longer days,
Absolutely.
exactly, to get out and do more with our animals. So it has been really nice to have you with us today,
Thank
Amelia.
you so much. We've been, Iris and I have enjoyed our time, and we appreciate you letting
We've
us come
enjoyed
on.
having you and Iris with us today. So come back anytime.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Pet Partners.